So it seems that the Transformers Collectors Club is coming to an end, and they're clearancing out some of the last figures that they've had available. And one that they've had available for quite some time that I've really had my eyes on is the deluxe repaint of Terradive into Depth Charge. And I gotta say, after actually getting this thing, after actually having this mold in hand, I didn't even have this mold before, I can say this is one of the most impressive and unique deluxe class Transformers I have. It just does some things that are so crazy. And I love back in the day with the movie lines, how they made characters that didn't even appear in the movie. And they just wanted to make a really cool and unique toy and transformation out of them. And Terradive and Depth Charge here are no exception. And I gotta say that this thing really scratches my itch for a really cool Depth Charge figure, because I do have the classic Depth Charge Transmetal. It's not complete, but I do have it. And I gotta say, even though that figure is really nice, it's really gimmicky. It really is trapped in that 1990s. We gotta have disc launchers. We gotta make sure we have all these gimmicks. We gotta have chrome. And as much as I love Depth Charge in the show, I mean, who doesn't like Depth Charge in the show? That figure is a little hard to work with and doesn't really capture a lot of Depth Charge's awesomeness. Now, granted, this thing is not nearly accurate to Depth Charge in the form of the sculpt, but they really did get a lot of the paint application, and it really just does capture the essence of Depth Charge. I'm really surprised at how nice this thing is. So let's take a look at the jet mode, because that's what it's packed in. And you can see the paint deco on this thing is amazing. They got silver here, they got... Are those eyes? Are those eyes right there? They even have a little black. I think those are eyes. They replicate the looks of the wings on the Manta. He's got blue, he's got silver, he's got pink, I guess, lavender, maybe. It's just amazing looking. He's got like an orangish yellow. Such a great deco on this thing. The jet mode overall, I have no complaints with it. It is a very, very nice forward swept jet mode. And look at the shape of this. Look at how these wings go down, those go up, and these are kind of straight. It's just such an interesting shape of the wings. And you can see on the back here, he has these really nice yellow thrusters that really remind me, for some reason, I'm just in a Gundam mood. They just remind me of yellow verniers. What is it, vernians? I don't remember the word in Gundam, it's so weird. Yellow thrusters. And you can see here, he does have an accessory stored on the bottom of him in the form of a spear or a trident. And it looks kind of goofy stored on him. It just kind of sticks out of the back of the jet. It doesn't belong. It looks really weird. I kind of wish you could store it a little easier with the trident flipped forward, but you really can't. It gets in the way of this landing gear, which, by the way, he does have foldable landing gear, so that's nice. I give that a 2 out of 10. And this actually is very secure in here. You have to untab this right here. It tabs in there. And then there's a tab all the way on the top with this hinge. Now, I would be very careful with these C-clips. I have nightmares of C-clips just kind of breaking, because it happens a lot with me. So I'm trying my best to use these as little as possible, and that turns into me using them all the time. So that's a bit of a shame. We'll set the weapon off to the side and transform that after we get him in robot mode. So the transformation for this thing is honestly pretty crazy, and I love it. So the easiest thing to do first is just kind of pop the wings off. They just kind of lift them up a little bit, move them off to the side, move them down. That gets the wings out of the way and the legs as well. Let's just transform the legs. So you can see here, there's the waist to get the legs straight. Turn the thigh swivel for each leg. And then this is interesting. This is crazy. I actually got to get close in on this. So of course for each leg, you flip the feet out. You know, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Flip the first foot out and then the back foot, I guess. I don't know, I actually kind of like the look of the back foot a little more than the front. It just looks kind of flat and nice, I don't know. But anyway, the wings. You untab them from right there. You can see the kind of tab in there. Untab that. Untab this hinge. Then this is weird. You rotate the whole hinge on this disc right here. Rotate that all the way. And then the same peg where it was pegged in for vehicle mode, you peg it down there. And then the wing, you rotate, and then you peg it in to the side right there. Look at that. Just to show you that again, you untab the wing right here, you untab the hinge from the leg right there, rotate the hinge, tab it in below, rotate the wing, tab it up above. For the arms, you go to the back of the jet right here, probably look at it from the bottom, and then you just split it. You just split it, and they just kind of fold out like that. And then the arms, undo them, flip them up, undo them, flip them over. And then this is crazy. You flip this up, and then, oh look, it's a depth charge's beautiful noggin. And then you rotate this whole piece right here, right on top of the nose cone, right there. You rotate that all the way, flip the head down, flip this to the back, and rotate this whole assembly for the arms down. And he's kind of taking shape. One of the last things we have to do here is with the nose cone. Take your nail right here, and you untab the bottom of this. And then you slide this whole thing forward, and then kind of do it about halfway, and then move the rest of the waist up, because the waist right here is going to hold that into place. That is a very interesting technique. Then you just kind of push that back down, and then what do you know, looks really nice. After you get the back all flush, you see that hole right there, then the tab right there, kind of shadowed, but you just tab that together and make sure all the hinges are aligned. Shouldn't be too hard to get that together. And then after that, you take these wings right here, put them right there, and you have this beautiful chest shape. Then you take the shoulders, tab them into the sides, and then you take the arms, open them up, and flip out the hands by wiggling that out, flipping them out, and closing it. But you can actually keep this out if you want it to look like some sort of blaster. I actually think it's a really cool idea. And then, of course, flip down the head, and there you go. You have TFCC depth charge in robot mode. Gotta say, depth charge in robot mode looks just as good, if not better, than vehicle mode. This head sculpt that Terradive had already works for depth charge. It already works. I see depth charge in that head sculpt for sure. You can see the maximal symbol right there. It was below the nose cone. Looks really nice. You can still even see a bit of the cockpit too, which I always appreciate with jet formers. You can see there's almost no kibble on this thing. A lot of the jet goes right here. There are the wings on the sides of the legs if you consider those kibble, but I think they add to the look. The back pretty much has no kibble. It does have that nice panel there that really covers up not really that ugly of a hole. It just kind of helps with covering up the head, I guess, and holding the weapon in place in both modes. He's got the nice wings on the side, including the CE right there, which I find hilarious. But overall, looking at this thing, looking at the colors, the deco, it is remarkable. It is fabulous. It is one of the nicest looking transformers I indeed do have. Now, storage for this weapon, before I transform this, you can kind of put it on his shoulder right here, because that hinge actually is just still on his shoulder. You can tab it in, say like this, doesn't really matter how. This is how I do it, and then I fold it to the back. And then zooming out, you can see how the spear stores right there. That's my preferred way to store it on him. Or what you could do, and this is kind of ugly, you could tab it onto his back. You can have it lower, you can have it higher, you can rotate it. It's kind of at a slant, so his head's always going to be bonking against it. And to transform his weapon, untab this right here, and then you fold this down, preferably hold it at the hinge, because it's a very weird looking hinge. I really don't want to break it. Then it just kind of soft tabs into place, move the trident down, and it looks absolutely beautiful. Now, how you put it in his hand is pretty simple. You do have these thinner parts right here, which are for the clip system. You kind of get it in his hand there. You have just enough room, and then you slide it down. And what do you know? He's holding the trident, and he looks absolutely amazing with it. Now, I'm going to transform his arm here so you can actually see him in his more proper robot mode. Because I bet a lot of you thinking, oh, you forgot to transform his right arm. No, I just kind of like that cannon look. And this thing in robot mode is absolutely spectacular. One of my favorite deluxe transformers. I can say that with a lot of confidence. It's one of my favorite deluxe transformers. And I really want to compare him with the original Beast Wars Depth Charge, and I am. I didn't compare him in the Manta mode, because that mode is just way too huge to even bother comparing. But here is the original Beast Wars Depth Charge next to the Collector's Club Depth Charge. And as you can see, they look really similar. Color schemes are pretty on point. I don't really have much of an issue with some of the changes they did to him. They did change the colors a little bit, like his hands are yellow now instead of silver chrome. You can still see kind of the purpley color. They made it way more vibrant here than it is on him. Overall, I have no complaints with this depth charge. Not a single one. It's a great figure. Really, really, really makes me want to want the I want to want something. Really makes me want the Rampage that they did out of the Deluxe Prime Megatron mold. Well, anyways, guys, that has been my review of Deluxe Depth Charge. I hope you guys enjoyed taking a look as much as I did. It's one of my favorite Deluxe Transformers I have in my collection. It's actually really amazing. And I feel like the Depth Charge deco is one of the coolest decos for it. Well, anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next review. Bye-bye.